Today, we're going to talk about menopause myths and we are going to debunk them. There are 7 that I've seen and heard from either patients or even some physicians. And honestly, it is comical now thinking back about how these might have actually started. But let's dive right in. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Lori Marvis. I am a board certified family and lifestyle medicine physician with decades of experience helping people like you and myself, because I'm going through menopause myself, transition to a healthier lifestyle through a variety of ways, including nutrition, exercise, stress management, sleep, all those wonderful things we know we should do, but we struggle to do. So let's jump right into the 7 myths of menopause that we're going to debunk today. And by the way, please put below, comment, share, like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I would love to hear your comments about myths that you've heard throughout the ages about menopause, or maybe you're just kind of entering new into this whole area because things are starting to happen in your own body. Maybe this will help you kind of avoid some of the potholes on your journey. All right, let me pull up my notes here. All right, so first of all, just understand that menopause is a natural phase of a woman's life. Yes, it is natural, but there's a lot of things that can go crazy during menopause. But understand it if you're a woman, meaning that you were a female when you were born, that if you live long enough, you will absolutely go through menopause. That is a natural course of events. And, there's a lot of misconceptions and myths that have been built around menopause. It can cause a lot of confusion and really induce anxiety unnecessarily. So it's really kind of time to debunk these myths and make some clear evidence-based information about menopause and give you some ideas of what you can do. Number 1 myth is menopause happens suddenly, right? Well, actually, the reality is menopause is a gradual process. It does not occur overnight. It's a gradual transition that typically begins with what we describe as perimenopause, right? So this can start several years before your final menstrual period. And just in my own course of events, looking back now, I would say I at least had 5 years before I really had my last period last year. And I'll be 54 in October. So I'd say my later 40s, 47, 48, things were probably starting to shift. And what's happening during this time, and then, like I said, this transition can last for several years. During perimenopause, you have hormones that fluctuate. You have estrogen going wee and down and up and down. Think of it as a roller coaster. Yeah, exactly. These can cause irregular periods, hot flashes, mood changes. It can run the gamut on symptoms. I have a video somewhere on 30 plus symptoms of menopause. If you're interested, that is a very fascinating video just to watch, to understand that you might connect to some of those less obvious symptoms of menopause. So the transition is quote unquote officially complete when women have gone through 12 consecutive months without a period. That would be what we describe now as postmenopause. So now you're in this menopausal, perimenopausal phase, and you're in that. So perimenopause is you're getting ready and you finally stop having periods. Now you're in this menopause phase. And let's say I'm in I think I'm on month 8 or 9 now. Once I hit 12 months, I will be done with menopause and moving on to postmenopause. So, but if my period decides to reemerge anytime during this 12 months of waiting, that clock starts over again on the official diagnosis of menopause. It doesn't really matter. But again, they have to put something in their medical records. Next is myth 2. Menopause only affects older women. Well, menopause can actually start earlier than you think. So while the average age of menopause is around 51, some women may experience it earlier, like in their 40s, or even younger in the cases of what we call premature menopause. Factors such as genetics, smoking, and certain medical treatments can influence the timing of menopause. So awareness and understanding of early menopause symptoms can be really important for proper management and support, because women who are having early menopause really should consider HRT based on their symptoms and their risk factors. Of course, all that needs to be taken into consideration, but absolutely should be aware of it. Number 3, menopause always causes symptoms. That's just not true. Symptoms vary widely among women, right? So the severity and type of symptoms can vary significantly from one woman to the next. And while some women experience intense hot flashes and night sweats, others may have mild symptoms or no symptoms at all. Common symptoms include hot flashes, mood swings, sleep disturbances, vaginal dryness, but the intensity and the impact of the symptoms really vary widely. And that's really important where personalized treatment and lifestyle adjustments can be very helpful for women and can help manage your symptoms effectively. For myself, the one that really got my attention beyond just the wild roller coaster periods was joint discomfort. That one threw me for a loop. It just didn't dawn on me that this could be menopause, but it all coincided with the ending of the period, I guess, where my last egg said, I'm out, menopause begin. Joint begin, pain begin, and hot flashes began even more intense. So, yeah, it was a very interesting time. So, meanwhile, other women are saying, I have had a dream menopause. That is such a wonderful thing, but we still need to support the rest of us who are less lucky in the sense of, really what's going on here. I really want to change how we discuss menopause. I think instead of thinking it as something we have to fight and that it's this horrible, horrible thing, yes, it's an adjustment, but there's something that happens during this time. When you're in a different phase of life, many times we are empty nesters and we've done our service to our family. But what happens with menopause, it forces you to stay and pay attention to yourself. And that introspective time is really an important time, right? It forces you to look inside what's going on emotionally, physically, and take time to take care of yourself. And I think that sets you up for the next phase of life where you can really blossom. But moving on, myth 4 is weight gain is inevitable with menopause. Now, weight gain is very common, but it's not unavoidable. So, hormonal changes during menopause can contribute to weight gain. And I did a video yesterday about the hormonal changes that are occurring and why it's happening, particularly around the abdomen, which can be dangerous, right? That's that visceral fat can be very inflammatory and increase your risk for chronic diseases, including the number one cause of death in men and women, which is heart disease. But let's talk a little bit about the diet. Certain dietary things might need to change. We need to stay physically active, become physically active if you weren't physically active. And really, really important is stress management. Because along with all these things that are changing, right? Our families are changing, our bodies are changing. We feel like our bodies have turned against us. We're like, what? I've been inhabiting you for 50 some odd years, and now suddenly it's like a stranger took over. So really, really important that we work on our stress, but understand that if you do have weight gain, there are hormonal changes also driving that train and that things can be adjusted. We need to speak to your healthcare provider about it. Myth 5 is hormone replacement therapy is dangerous. HRT, or now what we call menopausal hormone therapy, can be safe and effective for many, many women, right? So, because of the WHI, the Women's Health Initiative that was published in 2002, a lot of misconceptions and misreporting just started with that. So, as I was starting my medical career during that time, I was one of those doctors who said, we can't give this to you. It's very dangerous based on this very huge study. Like, if you look at the rate of prescriptions for HRT in the early 2000s, it just literally just fell off a cliff as that study came out. Well, now we're looking back and we're reevaluating that data, and things have absolutely changed to the point that I felt comfortable enough, even with my family history of my mother, her grandmother, my grandmother, and all their sisters having breast cancer. I understand my risk, they're minimal. So I've chosen to actually start utilizing estradiol and progesterone because I still have my uterus. So those are things that you should discuss with your provider who understands the value of HRT in your particular case, right? So really depending on your risk factors, what's important to understand is that the type of hormone used, how it's actually taken, is it oral or is it transdermal, and the duration and the when the treatment actually begins, this is the important factors that you need to discuss. So really, really important that understand this is a personalized journey, that you need to speak to your doctor who understands what's going on and what the actual risks are for you. And then you get to make that final decision. And so, again, it's just so very important that you understand that you have options and choices and that you don't have to suffer in silence and confusion. So that's why I'm starting to increase the discussion around menopause, because we have to do more. There's like, I think a quarter of the American population is either in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. There's a lot of us, so we should be talking about it. Anyway, moving on. Myth 6, menopause marks the end of your sexual life. That's just not true, right? So many women enjoy a sexual sex life after and during menopause, right? So yes, it can bring some changes in sexual function like vaginal dryness and decreased libido, but it doesn't mean an end, right? So this is where you may want to discuss other things like HRT, lubricants, moisturizer, things like that. But speak to your partner about what's going on and your healthcare provider. Again, find someone who knows the research and understands what's available for you and takes your risks into account. Next is that menopause means you'll be less feminine. It's not the truth, ladies. Menopause does not define your femininity. Can't even say the word. So remember, menopause is just a natural biological process, right? And so it doesn't diminish who you are as a person. If anything, I think it's going to make us grow spiritually, mentally, and it'll just show how awesome and amazing women are already. And if you live this long and all the things that we have to do in this first usual half century of our lives, holy moly, what's the next half century going to be? Especially when we work and start talking together about this very important time in our lives where it's forcing you to look inward and pay attention to yourself and start loving ourselves, because we've all done a really good job of not doing that. And yeah, I think the communication and the discussion just needs to be ramped up even more. So there you go, the top 7 myths that I feel should be debunked. Feel free to share this video with any of your lady friends or moms or sisters or grandmothers, whomever you think might benefit from this. And I promise you, if you're going through some serious symptoms of menopause, you are not alone. You're not crazy. And anybody who says you are, well, they need to be nice. So I'll leave that to that. And if you are struggling with some health issues, like I said, menopause throws some monkey wrenches and things. You might see your cholesterol rising. I saw my cholesterol, my LDL, my bad cholesterol go above 100 for the first time in my life. Now that got my attention. 2, you're at the joint pain. Weird stuff, right? Again, some women will gain a significant amount of weight, especially around the abdomen. So it's already, you're already going through some uncomfortable things, but now you have weight gain. But I do have a free masterclass. It's called the 5 Steps to Master Your Metabolism and Lose Weight. And I talk about the 4 biggest mistakes that people make in their weight loss journey. So if you'd like to register below, the link is in the description below or in bio if you're on Instagram. So again, as always, I want to say thank you for being here. I so appreciate your time. I'm sending you love, joy, peace. I think harmony is the word I'm looking for today, and healing, 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 and more healing, right? Healing spiritually, physically, mentally, whatever your heart is aching for. I'm sending you from my heart to you that you're going to get what you need. So thanks everyone again. I so appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.